Hi, I'm Lee Burkeen with Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We've got a great lineup tonight. We're going to be talking about the South Lafourche Tarpons, 1966. It was a special year, special group of players. We're going to talk about that. We got three of the former players here today to talk about that time and moment. We got pitchers going back for 66. They played in the state championship game in Tiger Stadium, way back against Broadmoor in 66. We even talk about how they played in the Shrimp Bowl against Biloxi High School. And we got the head football coach from Woodlawn High School in Shreveport and his star football player. We're going to mention his name later in the show. We'll be right back. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine.
When I tore my ACL, I didn't think I'd ever be able to play soccer again. My doctor told me how important physical therapy would be, so I chose Peak. I'm glad I did. Now I'm stronger, faster, better than ever. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even a vowel. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
CSC Customs has moved to a bigger state-of-the-art facility to serve you better. We are your one-stop shop for automotive custom work, including bed liners, wheels, tires, lift kits, upholstery, and window tinting. CSC's full-view showroom means you can watch in comfort and see every phase of work on your vehicle. CSC is famous for its lifetime guarantee on labor and for manufacturer's warranty work. Shop where the auto dealers shop for custom work. CSC Customs, airline at Old Jefferson, next to Brian Harris Audi.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. I want to thank Superior Grill. They've been a sponsor of ours since 1996. They promote high schools. They promote all the colleges in the state. They have one in Shreveport on Line Avenue. They're in New Orleans on St. Charles Avenue, Government Street in Baton Rouge, and their new location on Highland Road in Baton Rouge. And they're also in Birmingham, Alabama. Big Tiger fans, so not Alabama fans, but they have restaurants in Birmingham where Alabama's at. Pretty close by. Tuscaloosa about an hour away. But before we introduce, I want to introduce what we're doing in these next few segments. South Lafourche High School in the 60s, and prior to South Lafourche, we're going to talk about the name change, was a powerhouse. And I mean, they put out some big-time players to college and the NFL. Bob Brunet was a great player that played for the Redskins, and we're going to tell his story because he didn't play 4 years. I think he played in only a couple of games his senior year. You had Gil Mathern that played at ULM, which was Northeast back in the day, defensive tackle. Crockett, Ronnie Estee, and many of our guests today, not necessarily the NFL, but LSU, Louisiana Tech. We've got some great guests. I want to go ahead and introduce Hank Danos. Hank?
Thank you, Lee.
Thanks
Great
for being
to be
here.
Appreciate you giving us a chance to reminisce about our story from the 60s, late 60s.
You're the quarterback of the 66 Tarpon team.
Was.
Introduce your buddy Pierce here.
Yeah, Lynn Pierce was a defensive and offensive end. We were classmates from early years, and Ray Cheramie was part of the consolidation from Golden Meadow, was a defensive cornerback, and all three of us have great memories about that first year at South Lafourche High School.
And Hank, a lot of people that are watching, this will go to the Bayou, it'll go to Golden Meadow, LaRose, Thibodeau, Homa. Tell everybody about, prior to South Lafourche, how the names changed with Golden Meadow and LaRose.
Yes, Lee, thank you. So back in the middle 60s, our Lafourche Parish School District decided that they were going to build two schools out of 4 schools. Golden Meadow High School and LaRose Cutoff High School became one, South Lafourche. And the first year of South Lafourche began in 1966. We were the first graduating class in 1967.
Incredible year. We're honoring that team tonight. And even though it's just 3 teammates, I know that we're going to be talking for your whole team. And everybody that was involved back in the day. You know, Ed Orgeron was a Tarpon graduate. Bobby Hebert, Nikki Savoy, Ryan Thomasy, Eric Griffin. I can go on some of the guys that played. Several went to Tulane, and Lynn, you went to Louisiana Tech.
Right, yes.
So you were
very fortunate.
Younger than Bob Brunet.
Right.
But from the same community.
Right.
And teammates with him at Tech.
Correct. Brunet and I had a good relationship in high school when I was a freshman and he was a senior. I worked with him getting ready for Louisiana Tech, running, weightlifting, and things like this. So we kind of had a little relationship going there. And then when I went to Tech, it just so happened he was a senior and I was a freshman. So he kind of came in and took me under his wing. Which,
you learned a lot quick.
Right, right. Showed me the ropes.
We'll talk about Robinson, duck call, and maybe share a story or two later in the show.
Phil Robinson, right.
And Ray, Cheramie, you were a cornerback on this
Correct.
team. And Lynn, you were offensive line, defensive line.
Yeah, offensive and defensive ends.
Ray, what was it like being a part of this 66 team that played in Tiger Stadium for the state championship against Broadmoor?
A thrill of a lifetime. It was we had great friendship between the players, and we just had the ball. It was a lot of fun. We got along real well, and we blended very, very well.
But you were a part of the Golden Meadow
Correct.
school.
We didn't like them when we were younger.
So there was an adjustment, right, Hank?
Well,
all kids from different schools
yeah.
coming together.
We were crosstown rivals for a number of years. Fortunately, the administration decided the last year or two they saw the consolidation coming, and we stopped competing against each other. And the community and the boys worked real hard to earn their place on the team. But we became best friends as we got in the trenches and fought together for South Lafourche.
Y'all had some characters on this team, Hank.
We did.
Y'all had Curtis Martin, who was a character, and y'all had another running back that went to LSU.
Yeah.
That was a character on this team.
Art Cantrell was our running back. He wasn't part of the team our earlier years, but he rejoined the team our senior year. It was his junior year. He was an outstanding athlete, a great running back, carried the pigskin, so to speak, for us, and eventually had a great career at LSU and went on to the pros.
Lynn, you were talking about how y'all had an All-American D lineman teammate,
yeah,
Darryl Rishu.
Yeah, Darryl Rishu was a heck of a ball player. I mean, just a lot of energy, mean, just would run through and do anything, to make the tackle. He was one of the guys that I went against almost every day, for position status, so to speak. And I guess the coaches realized that, it wasn't working out, so he put us on each end to kind of keep us apart. But Darryl was a great player. He was an All-American high school, the first, the only one we've ever had.
And Darryl had a reputation of being a tough guy.
Very tough.
And then you have Art Cantrell, who had a reputation.
Yes.
You put those two guys in a closet, and you said
yes.
you don't know who's going to
Right. They decided amongst themselves not to have any confrontations, just for the good of the team. And we just kind of, everybody kind of rallied around, those guys, because they were kind of like, the lead dogs for our individual schools, But it worked out really well. At the beginning, it was kind of tense, but I think like in any sport, at the end of our August training, people knew who were really well, who was good, who could start. It's just kind of mixed in there, and our coaches really did a good job.
Before we take a break, I want to mention some more teammates. There was Steve Cheramie also on the team.
That's correct.
Ernest Mathern, Sammy Mathern, that played a long time in the Canadian Football League as a defensive back. Johnny Johnson, Nicky Pierre, Ronnie Plaisance, Ozima Rousset, I guess.
Ozeme
Joseph Joe Fertitta, and John Saragini, which was what position was John?
He was a center.
Center.
Yeah.
What a great group. And Lynn, how many played in the college NFL or college?
I think the first 2 years, senior and junior, it was 21 or 22 Division I scholarships.
Incredible team. We're going to talk more about the team. I want to talk about Tulane Stadium and Tiger Stadium and what it was like to play in those stadiums. The only high school team to play in both of those stadiums ever. We'll be right back.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gaylord. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gaylord. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The Wright Group has been dedicated to enriching lives for over 100 years. With its roots in Louisiana, it branches across the U.S. and around the world. The Wright Group is a key supplier and contributor to the functional food, sports nutrition, supplement, and health and fitness markets, supplying customized nutritional blends, vitamin and mineral premixes, and microencapsulated ingredients, leading the way in customer service and innovation, fueling the way we live. The Wright Team, the Wright Group.
Welcome back to Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Our website is lafootballmagazine.com. If you're a mom or dad watching the show for the first time, you can get our North or South magazine still from this past summer. It's our 24th year. We're working on our 25th year for 2020, and we've got one of our cover guys that's going to be on the show later from Woodlawn and Shreveport, a big-time offensive lineman. We're going to say his name later in the show, but incredible 25 years, proud to do this, a labor of love to travel this state, love Louisiana. I love doing these stories, and I think it's important that we continue to promote what happened in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 50s, 40s, because I grew up when I was playing in the 80s. I kept up with what happened before me. You know, my dad was a coach, and it was important to know, and I just love football and love sports. And South Lafourche was one of those teams. The Tarpons, 1966, went 12-2. They lost to Broadmoor in the state championship game, and I think to Biloxi. But what was it like, Hank, playing in Tiger Stadium as a high school kid? They haven't played in Tiger Stadium for high school championships since then, I don't believe.
I don't think we really fully realized the honor we had and what we really experienced. But I do remember way back then that it was quite a thrill that we were going to walk through the dressing room where the Tigers played and play on the field where the LSU Tigers played. It was just mind-boggling for us and quite a thrill.
And Tiger Stadium was still intimidating back then. I know it's 105,000, but still it was over 60,000 back then. And Lynn, was that Wake up for you. I mean, you played in Tulane Stadium too. Y'all played in Tulane Stadium.
Yeah, we won on first downs in the Tulane Stadium against Jesuit, 17-14 on first downs. That's how they broke the tie. Then we went to Tiger Stadium, which was, I mean, it was very important and memorable for me because when I ran off the field, one of the coaches from Louisiana Tech, I was going in the oil field working, and when I came off that in the end zone, the coach from Tech said, "Hey, 84," and he says, "You want to come play football for me? I'm from Louisiana Tech." So it didn't take me long to figure out that I was definitely going to go play football. But it was memorable for me. And the grass, we didn't have any grass on our football field. And the grass was lush and it was great. The crowds were good.
So you're saying the field wasn't manicured?
It was great.
At South Lafourche?
Oh, no.
A lot of dirt,
It was pretty
holes.
rough.
It was pretty bad.
We didn't even have a home stadium. When we were seniors, we had no practice field, no stadium. We played at the LCO Stadium. We practiced. We moved around the community and found different fields to practice in. There was no stadium.
You listen to this, young kids today?
We had to push a bus.
We were bused
to
for
get
every
it,
practice.
to get it started.
As a team.
And whoever did well that day didn't have to push. It was defense or offense. If the offense won, when the defense pushed. And we had to pop the clutch like the old days, you know. And
no water breaks back then. That's the problem.
Well, they took care of us, and but the coaches were great. We had fun. They made a lot of fun out of football, and
they were close too.
Yes, we ran our own practices to a certain degree without coaches. You know, so it was.
So we had to get on the bus and spend 15-20 minutes going from school to the practice. So you know, we all sitting there yakking. And the same thing on the way back. So we bonded really, really well that way.
Ray, you had a story about the All-American Ronnie Este Crockett that you could never beat him in sprints. And you were a cornerback.
I was a defensive back, and I was very slow. And coaches wanted to help me increase my speed, and I could never run sprints with the backs. I had to run with the linemen, and if I could beat Ronnie Este, I could go with the backs. They made a big deal out of it every day, and I never beat him. I had to run with the lineman all year.
Ronnie could move, huh?
He can move. For a big guy, he could really move.
Canadian spent a long time in the Canadian League. He's been on the show a few times, more rings than fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Between LSU and the Canadian League, I mean. But I think he had the longest tenured career of any Louisiana native in Canada, which is amazing. He's in their Hall of Fame.
Very well decorated in Canada, and obviously a local hero. In our area.
We mentioned Ed Orgeron's a graduate of South Lafourche and played there, and also Bobby Hebert. You know,
Bobby Hebert is one of our hometown heroes as well. Took his team to a state championship.
Yeah, and I know Brian Arsenault, who played at Northwestern State, who played with Ed, was a good lineman on that team. We want to show some pictures, and I know. Guys, y'all supplied some pictures to us over the years, and they're going to get these pictures up. And if y'all we could talk about this picture here.
Art Cantrell.
Yes.
Johnny Sanders was a fullback, and Art Cantrell
was a halfback. No, it was that 940 trap. We used to run a lot there.
This is the picture of the whole team, the state run-ups, 1966.
This is the stadium, I think, in La Rose.
Yeah, that's La Rose cut off.
Where we played our games, sometimes had our practices, but this was 7-8 miles away from the school we were attending.
Another game action picture here.
That's Hank throwing a pass.
You under
That's
the
against
stress
Rummel,
here,
wasn't it?
Hank?
That was an afternoon game against Rummel.
Here's the coaches all.
Eddie Blanchard, Ralph Perry, and Dan Danos were three of the coaches you see on the sideline.
We all had 4 coaches.
That's incredible.
4 coaches.
You see staffs now with 15, 20.
Yeah.
This has got to be from a
64,
program.
that was Ronald, wasn't it? Ronald Leday.
Yeah, 64 is Ronald Leday.
Big guy lineman.
He played for LSU.
Played for LSU.
That's
Another
Cantrell
picture.
again.
Another Cantrell picture.
Fearless.
Is that Cliff Lombard, 66 down there in the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arthur Cantrell he could do it.
That's me.
Lynn Pierce getting his head knocked off.
Oh. They didn't call pass interference. That's the bad part.
Is he a Rams fan too? Here's Hank running the ball.
Hank running.
Little Joe Burrow run, Hank?
Yeah, something like that. Couldn't throw quite as good as Joe Burrow, but
you could run.
Here's another run here.
That's Art.
Art Cantrell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the West Jeff.
Bobby Roos.
That's Bobby, a wing back. He was our wing back.
Yeah, this team didn't lack toughness.
No.
A lot of tough guys on this team.
Steve Cheramie. He was a runner. He was behind Arthur. Oh, he was a fullback, halfback kind of mix, you know.
Yeah, had some good backs.
Yeah, he was a golden medal guy. The golden medal guys were tough now.
Pound for pound, he was a tough
Sitting
kid.
on one right.
Yeah, they were tough. They were tough boys.
I mean, this is.
That's that Ruston catch I made. That's
against
why,
Ruston High School.
Yeah, that's against Ruston. That was a rough game. They were tough.
And then you get to play in Ruston for college.
Yes. That was a tough game.
Dan Danos,
the head coach of the team.
Dan succeeded Lynn LeBlanc. You may recognize that name. Yeah. He was a part of the LSU 58 championship, and he went over to Northeast, and Dan succeeded him as head coach, first head coach at South Lafourche.
Yeah, and another thing back then, I always like to ask, because in that era, not a lot of empty seats in the stadium.
No, there was.
I mean, this was a community.
There was
high school football was just sold out every week, right, Hank?
I think one of the things, particularly that helped us gel, is that we were a small rural community, and the people just really got behind football, behind the new school. Our community was proud of the new facility, proud of the football team. They encouraged us, and they really treated us like heroes. So we wanted to win for the community.
When we come back, we're going to take a break. Here's the season record. The opponents, some tough teams, man. Slidell back in the day, Morgan City was good. All those teams were powerhouses. Jesuit, Ruston, or Struma probably at some point. And then Broadmoor.
Bogalusa was very good too.
You know, Jesuit had Pat Screen back in the day and a lot of great players. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to ask everybody what they think of Joe Burrow and the LSU football season, and also Louisiana Tech. Maybe a little Phil Robertson story from Lynn Pierce. Sure. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'll leave for a little while, and all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
And as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
CSC Customs has moved to a bigger state-of-the-art facility to serve you better. We are your one-stop shop for automotive custom work, including bed liners, wheels, tires, lift kits, upholstery, and window tinting. CSC's full-view showroom means you can watch in comfort and see every phase of work on your vehicle. CSC is famous for its lifetime guarantee on labor and for manufacturer's warranty work. Shop where the auto dealers shop for custom work. CSC Customs, airline at Old Jefferson, next to Brian Harris Audi.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. You know, it's really hard to put everything in 25 minutes from an era in the 60s where football was phenomenal. Just think about the 60s for a second. Jimmy Taylor in the 50s going into the 60s. Billy Cannon, the late 50s. Johnny Robinson. And all the great players that we're talking about today. The 50s and 60s had so many great players. You look at the NFL Hall of Fame. Look at White Tittle. We got a Marshall quarterback, former quarterbacks coach Byrd coming on later. He went to Marshall. White Tittle was a Marshall High School quarterback at LSU. Started off at Tulane, believe it or not, and ended up at LSU and played many years in the NFL. But those were special times in the 50s and 60s in history of Louisiana for the whole state. You know, and then Bradshaw at Woodlawn, and Joe Ferguson at Woodlawn. You know, and then years later, Stan Humphreys went to Southwood and Shreveport. So many great players. Bubby Brister, Neville High School, went to Tulane, Alabama, and then finished at Northeast. Want to go ahead, we've got some stories that we hope we can get in, but one, I wanted to talk to Hank about LSU. I know Hank's a big LSU fan, and Joe Burrow's season was phenomenal. 15-0.
What a great opportunity, or a great year to be a Tiger fan. Joe Burrow, just phenomenal, and his ability to read the defense and react and make adjustments is just beyond our ability, I think, to understand. I don't know if we'll ever see such a thing again, but it was a great year to be a Tiger fan.
Ray, what was it for you as an LSU fan too, for Ed Orgeron being from South Lafourche, being a head coach, winning a national championship? What did that do for the community and just for you being from?
Just say, make sure we all talk the same language. It's fun to have Coach O there. You know, it makes all of us proud. You know, South Lafourche graduates, babe.
I mean, it's amazing though he did it early, like fast. You know, he came in and didn't inherit all the pieces. You know, and it was a rough. You know, everybody was kind of negative. I don't care who they would have hired. They could have hired Dan Reeves, but he turned it around really, really fast. And turning to Lynn Pierce, we've got a story. Speaking of quarterbacks, you went to college at Louisiana Tech with the character.
Correct.
The Duck Call Show.
Right, the Duck Commander.
The Duck Commander himself.
Phil Robinson.
Phil
right.
Robinson. And you said you'd love to share a story. You told me off the air in front of everybody.
Well, Phil Robinson was a good friend of Robert Brunet's, and when I got up there, Brunet came find me and he says, "Hey, I'm gonna come and introduce you to our quarterback." So we go, we knock on the door, and old Phil says, "Who's there?" And this was a married apartments with his wife, and Brunet says, "It's Brunet." He said, "Come on in here, son. I need your head." You know, with that redneck accent, which I'm not too good at. But so he opens the door and he says, "Who's that guy?" He says, "Man, that's one of my friends from the Bayou. He's coming to play ball with us." He said, "Well, come in here, son. I need your help." So I could see his head, but I couldn't see the table in front of him. So I walk around there, and I'm looking at Phil, and I kind of look back like this. It's August the 15th, 98 degrees. He's got a skinned deer on the table.
Not deer season.
Not deer season. And he's got a hacksaw, and he's cutting it down. He's quartering it. Robert says, "Man, it's not even deer season." He says, "Son, hold that leg. I got to feed my family." So that's that's how I met Phil Robinson.
Welcome to the football team.
And then, of course, he made his decision to move on into hunting and fishing, which was a good move, which he loves.
And the guy named Bradshaw
took over, which was a good move for him too. So he did well up in the pros.
But people that don't know Robert Brunet, Bob Brunet as he's known for the Washington Redskins, played for George Allen, played at Louisiana Tech. It didn't start off where he was a four-year starter, Hank, at South Lafourche. Well, it was prior to South Lafourche.
Yeah.
But Bob Brunet, the amazing story of how he became a scholarship player.
It really is an amazing story. Even before that, Brunet's family struggled, and a school teacher couple really semi-adopted Brunet and helped him get through school. His last year of school as a senior, LCO was going into the playoffs. The running back who was playing ahead of Brunet had a terrible injury the last game of the season, which took him out, a broken leg. Brunet came in as a substitute, and I think what earned his scholarship, this is how I recall it. LCO, LaRose Cutoff was playing against Abbeville. There was a punt. Brunet fielded the punt and made an amazing punt return for a touchdown, which ended up taking a second-string running back, getting a scholarship to Louisiana Tech, and becoming a professional player who played at the highest level under Coach Lombardi.
His senior year in high school, hadn't
Correct.
played prior to that, was a manager, right?
He was a substitute and part-time manager.
Manager
I
of the team.
appreciate it. Yeah.
You don't hear that. That's and then plays 10 years in the NFL, Super Bowl ring with the Redskins. Incredible story.
Another big influence on the local community.
Really appreciate everyone being here today. Driving all the way from Houma, from Golden Meadow, La Rose, I mean, cut off Louisiana, the whole bayou, but really meant a lot to us to have you here. Thank you guys, and I know the Broadmoor teammates are going to be watching. It's going to bring back memories. Your old teammates will watch, and family members, and then to educate people that didn't know about this era or this time. And I think all those state people who love football love this stuff. But thank you for being here, Hank.
We appreciate
Lynn,
you.
and also Ray Cheramie. Appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have Coach CJ Byrd come on from Woodlawn, not Woodlawn of Baton Rouge, Woodlawn of Shreveport. And later in the show, his star football player is going to come on. We'll be right back.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gayrard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman and there's only one E. E. Eric Gayrard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
The Wright Group has been dedicated to enriching lives for over 100 years. With its roots in Louisiana, it branches across the U.S. and around the world. The Wright Group is a key supplier and contributor to the functional food, sports nutrition, supplement, and health and fitness markets, supplying customized nutritional blends, vitamin and mineral premixes, and micro-encapsulated ingredients, leading the way in customer service and innovation, fueling the way we live. The right team, the Wright Group.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV magazine. Before we introduce Coach, I want to mention another name from that South Lafourche team, B.J. Perrette, who goes by Billy. He wasn't able to make it today, but we didn't forget about you. You're being mentioned. We didn't want to leave you out, and hopefully we can maybe get B.J. to call in one day and be a part of the show. He was a defensive lineman on that 66 South Lafourche Tarpon football team. I want to go ahead and announce and promote our next coach is a very young coach that played quarterback for Southern University with Pete Richardson, the legendary Pete Richardson, who was a phenomenal coach at Southern University. CJ Byrd was a quarterback. He was from Marshall, Texas High School, known for, guess what, Odell Beckham's dad played at Marshall, Texas, White Tittle. Several players. Phil Bennett is from Marshall, Texas, that coached at LSU and Baylor. How you like that, man? I know about Marshall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here, Coach.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Young coach, started off at Bel Air and a few of these Baton Rouge schools. I guess you stuck around after Southern to kind of get your feet wet, but now you're back home.
I am.
You're at Woodlawn.
I am.
What's it like being the head coach now?
Oh, man, it's unique. I enjoy it. Being able to do what I love every day is something that's very, very positive and uplifting. It's just been a huge blessing for me.
this past year, a young team, the youngest Woodlawn team in 10 years.
Yes.
We're going to forget about the 1-9 record. It was young, but the great news is you have everybody back.
Yes.
And now they're juniors.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to return a big-time young quarterback, big-time running back? Now, you're going to lose Vincent Hall that we're going to bring on, the leader of the O-line, but you got a lot of young O-linemen coming back. I counted 7 college prospects on your team coming up. That's pretty good.
We might have more than 7. We
Right.
might have more than 7. I'm excited about this team that's coming up. You know, we experienced some turmoil last year, but I am very excited about the work they've been putting in the weight room, what they're learning from us in that weight room, and how we're going to translate what we do in that weight room to what we're going to do on the football field. I'm excited about it.
CE, as he goes by, CE Byrd. Marshall State title game, what was that like? Marshall, Texas.
Yes, Marshall, Texas.
It's hard to go to a state championship game in Texas.
It is. It is.
In
I
4A.
will forever remember that game. We beat the team we played in every statistical category, with the exception of the scoreboard. And it haunts me to this day.
Who was the opponent?
Ennis.
Okay.
Graham Harold's little brother was the quarterback.
Okay.
So
Texas
they were
Tech.
yes, they were great. They were a great team, but you know, it took a while to get over that one. I still haven't watched the entire football game. I have it on tape, and I've yet to watch the entire football game.
Still to this day.
To this day, because I know it's going to.
That's
bring
2004.
Back exactly. Exactly. It haunts me. It haunts me.
Well, I got another alumni to mention. He's going to probably be the starting center for LSU next year. Chasen Hines went to Marshall. What do you think of Chasen?
Great kid. I don't know him personally. All I've heard is about him. Me just getting back into Shreveport, East Texas area. I hadn't had the opportunity to meet him, but from everything I've heard, all the coaches and everything, he's a great kid.
It's hard to pull a kid out of Marshall High to LSU.
It is.
Right?
It is.
With UT and A&M.
It is.
And how did you go to Southern? How'd you end up in Baton Rouge for Pete?
Well, my family's divided.
Okay.
Half my family went to Graham.
Oh.
The other half went to Southern. So I went on visits to both.
You truly didn't know?
I truly didn't. I truly didn't.
And the family was split?
They were split. As a matter of fact, my little sister actually graduated from Graham. So my mom and my uncle both went to Southern, and my 2 aunts, both of them went to Graham. So early on, I actually have a picture when I was younger in a Grambling football hat. I don't like to tell a lot of people that, but I guess everybody knows now, cat's out the bag. But I ended up going to Southern, and I just fell in love with Southern, the atmosphere, and they wanted me to come and play quarterback, and that's something I wanted to do.
Who was the head coach at Grambling at that time?
At that time, it was the OC was.
Was it Graves? Terrence Graves?
No, it wasn't Graves. The offensive coordinator was golly, I see his face. He was actually the head coach at Alcorn for a while, for a year. Oh my gosh.
It wasn't Heisman Northern, huh?
No, it wasn't him. The head coach was Doug at the time.
Yeah.
Doug Williams was the head coach.
And you told Doug Williams no?
Yes, I did.
The Super Bowl champion, the Redskins?
I definitely did. I just got the opportunity to play a little bit earlier at Southern. I was going to sit behind the round mound of touchdowns. That had to be hard, though, right? Oh, it was very difficult. But
and your sister was not happy with it?
Well, my sister's a little younger than me, so it was
after the fact.
It was after the fact. So.
Okay, well, Jaguar. So you're big. Definitely, you're probably wanting to go to that Grambling Southern Bayou Classic every year, right?
I go. Last year was the first year I hadn't gone in a few years. But I try to go as much as possible. My wife actually went to Southern University, so we both have ties to it.
That's great. That's a great story. Coach, we've got more Coach Byrd when we come back. We're going to talk more about Woodlawn, and we're going to talk more about his star senior, who I love, Vincent Hall, who's a phenomenal offensive lineman. We'll be right back.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
CSC Customs has moved to a bigger, state-of-the-art facility to serve you better. We are your one-stop shop for automotive custom work, including bed liners, wheels, tires, lift kits, upholstery, and window tinting. CSC's full view showroom means you can watch in comfort and see every phase of work on your vehicle. CSC is famous for its lifetime guarantee on labor and for manufacturer's warranty work. Shop where the auto dealers shop for custom work. CSC Customs, airline at Old Jefferson, next to Brian Harris Audi.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident.
The E-guarantee.
And as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, CJ Byrd, our head coach from Woodlawn in Shreveport. We've got some video of Vincent Hall if we can get it ready. I know it's not going to be up right now, but the guys are going to let me know. But I want to show the video of and brag on Vincent Hall, your big O lineman, and the job he does blocking. He loves to take people out.
He does. He does a great job. He's pretty fundamentally sound. And he does a wonderful job. Oh, this is hilarious. He's like 60 yards down the field.
Downfield leading.
He's lead blocking, a little screenplay.
330 pounds.
And he just cremates that guy. That was ridiculous. And you can see him, he's trying to chase the running back in the end zone.
He always looks like he's given 110%, but you don't see that with O-linemen anymore.
You don't.
Every play.
A lot of them can be kind of lazy, but Vince gives 110% just about every play that he's
4-year starter.
4-year starter, yes, sir.
All of 6'4", almost 6'5".
Yes, sir. Big guy.
Going to Tyler Junior College, right?
Yes, sir. Going to Tyler Junior College.
This kid, if he does all the right things, which I think he will, in 2 years could be the #1 ranked offensive lineman, I think, in junior college.
I agree with you. Keep that hunger, keep staying in that weight room, getting stronger. Listen to what the coaches have to say. He'll be phenomenal.
Here's another takedown.
Oh my gosh! I mean, he just had so many pancakes.
He comes to you if you don't go to him.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I love how he comes off the ball with tenacity. He's not laid back. He's trying to move He takes 2 or 3 people out on a play.
He does.
This is Evangel.
Yes, that's Evangel.
Saw this game earlier this year. He had 20-something pancakes, I think, in this game.
Yeah. Now this is against Ruston. This was a pretty physical team, and he stood to the task and did everything. He tried to will us to move the ball. Oh, this is a great block right here. Spring us for a touchdown.
Lead block.
Oh my goodness.
Just people look like they just were a little shy to get around him.
I would be too. You know, I'm a little DB coming up trying to take on a big guy like that.
But he can play tackle or guard in college.
He played primarily tackle for us. Played the blind side tackle spot for us. We had a right-hand quarterback, so
could go inside and pull every play.
Yes, sir. Did everything he needed to do and everything we asked him to do.
And Coach Byrd, you know this, coaching the team. Every opponent had big linemen, so it's not like he went against small D linemen.
Exactly.
Everybody was 6'2", 6'3", 6'4".
Exactly. So it wasn't like he had little scrums or small kids in front of him. He played against some of the best talent in East.
Playing some D line.
Yes, yeah, he did play a little. He did play some D line for us in crucial situations. That played before that. But yeah, whatever we asked him to do, he was there.
Here he is at left tackle. This guy he's taking downs about 6'3", 250.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that was Captain Shreve too. So
yeah,
they have
great players.
They have some great players. They got a bunch of kids that's going to be signing tomorrow. So,
and Coach, what's impressive about that takedown? That DN runs a 4.6 and has a swing move, and before he could get in a swing move, he just took him down. I mean, it was.
He definitely did. He definitely did.
Vincent's got a great career ahead of him. I know he's going to do great things at Tyler. I know if the Tyler coach is watching this, he's salivating on when can we get him to campus to get a couple of 1,000-yard rushers, right?
Right.
Now you got to replace Vincent.
Yes,
but the good thing is you got a 6'4" quarterback coming back.
We do have a good, and I'm excited about him. He's going to do some great things for us. He's going to be able to move the ball for us. He didn't have many turnovers this year. I think he maybe threw 4 interceptions, throughout the course of the season. So that's great.
You're very pumped about a young skill player that could be like a Trenton Holiday, faster than a hummingbird, basically. I mean,
Right.
an unbelievable little guy that's coming back.
Right.
One of them true 4-3 guys. Close.
Close. Very close.
Talk
Very close.
about this kid.
His name's Brian Stewart. He's number 1. I tell everybody that I talk to when we're talking about this kid, he's the only kid that I've seen score a touchdown in any way you can score a touchdown.
Phenomenal moves and speed.
And
tough.
Very electric in space. He's not the first person that gets to him is not going to tackle him. And he's going to do whatever it takes to get to the end zone. He's very, very tough. He has a high football IQ.
Forget the height, right? Just forget how tall he is. 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah, about 5'7", yeah.
But you throw it to him at the line, nobody's going to.
Yeah, the first person is not going to tackle him. And 9 times out of 10, the second person neither. If you put him in a phone booth and try to tackle him, it's going to be hard.
You know who he reminds me of, Coach, watching him on film? Is a shorter version of Antonio Brown in his younger days with the Steelers.
Agreed.
Throw it at the line, and then he's just going to jet and go 50, 60, 70 yards.
Easy. There was a catch he had against Northwood. He caught it over the middle and just took it 80 yards, and it was a blink of an eye. He was gone.
What do you think of a Struma bringing football back? You were there at one time.
I was there. I'm excited that they came back. I know their head coach, Gradney, pretty well. So I'm excited that they're back.
The future of Shreveport football, high school football, still tough. Tell everybody South Louisiana that's watching, all the great teams there. You got North DeSoto, you got Woodlawn, you got BTW, now used to be Fair Park.
Right.
You got Evangel Christian, you got Calvary Baptist, you got Logansport, you got Houghton.
Yep.
You got Parkway.
Yep.
I mean, tough team every week. Menden.
Right. You're gonna the football
300-pound D lines.
The football
Every
up
team.
there is definitely different from what it is down here. I've been blessed to be able to compete and coach in both sides. The South Louisiana as well as the North Louisiana, and they are very, 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 very tough teams up there, and they don't always get the spotlight that they deserve at times. But great teams, great coaches, phenomenal athletes.
And can't leave out the other 2 schools, Byrd High School, like your name, and Captain Shreve, which has really come on. Bo Harris played at Captain Shreve. He was a linebacker at LSU and the Cincinnati Bengals. And also, Roland Harper played for the Bears with Walter Payton. You remember that?
I do. A little bit before my time, but
Bo Harris and Walter and Roland Harper were on the same team, and they won a state championship. Back in the 70s. They had a powerhouse team, Captain Shreve. If it wasn't for Walter Payton, we might be talking about Roland Harper being an 8-time Pro Bowler, but hey, the juice was pretty good.
Yeah.
And Bo Harris played 9 years as a linebacker with the Bengals with Tommy Casanova, and then later Charlie Alexander, who played running back at LSU. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have your big guy, Vincent Hall, join us. Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Woodlawn from Shreveport, Louisiana, home of Terry Bradshaw and Joe Ferguson, James Gilliard, Tyrone Frazier, many others. We'll be right back.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV magazine. I want to mention to the viewing audience, I went to close to 100 games this year, high school games, and I went to close to 100 in 2018. And the best offensive lineman that I saw outside of a guy from Southern Lab, Thomas, who redshirted at LSU this year, was this kid here that we're going to introduce, Vincent Hall, from Woodlawn High School in Shreveport. Vincent, over 4 years, I personally saw this kid have 200 pancakes. I personally watched this kid in 5, maybe 6 total games. In your 4 years, from your freshman year in Independence Stadium when I saw you play Bossier,
Yes, sir.
they were running away from you, Vincent.
Yes, sir.
I remember the Bossier team on a Thursday night, the green, they wear the green uniforms. The D linemen were off the snap, were leaving the line to get away from you.
Yeah, I get that a couple times, and sometimes I get some guys who will just switch sides on me.
They don't want to face you.
Yeah, like before like halftime, they'll be all the way on the other end. So
Have you ever had a D lineman tell you, look, just stop pancaking me?
I had that one time my junior year. I had a D lineman. He was like, "Look, man, y'all winning, game almost over. Let's just chill." I'm like, "Man, if we chill and you beat me out of play, that's gonna make me look bad." So
What's your favorite play as a lineman? Obviously, you can pull.
Yes, sir.
You go left or right. As on the film, you're 30, 40 yards down the field. Coaches love that.
Yes, sir.
You don't get the flag, but they love that you're downfield. Then there's the pass blocking. There's all those great pass rushers. What gives you the best confidence? You like to pull or you like to take those pass rushers down?
I say screen plays, because you get to pick with the little guys who are always talking. All the little, like, you know, the little guys
Just
like
take
talking
'em out.
because they know you can't do nothing to them until they call a screenplay. That's when you get to go for them.
Is there a play that sticks out where you, I've seen you do this, where you knock 3 people out at one time?
I
You've
have
done a
done
bunch
that
of
before.
two.
I did 2 people before, for sure. I did 2 people. Like one time I hit a dude, I believe it was in one of the Bossier games as well. When I hit one kid, then the second kid just came right behind him and bounced off of me. So.
And in the next play, they're going, no moss, no more, right?
Yes, sir.
You're going to go to junior college to start off, just like Aaron Rodgers did, just like Cam Newton, just
Yes,
like Damian Lewis, LSU. Damian Lewis is a great example. You remind me a bigger version of Damian Lewis. He's going to go in the 3rd or 2nd round of the draft.
Yes,
From
sir.
Canton, Mississippi, 6'3", you're a little taller, 6'4". But he was one of the top offensive guards for Joe Burrow this year. And he could pull at 330. He benched 550, I think. I know you can get there at some point.
That's a lot. Yeah, I'm going to get there.
What do you think? What's your goals at Tyler Junior College? Where you going? What's your goals to get through that first year?
I mainly went because, you know, I know obviously I'm a Power 5 type player, but I didn't really have, you know, the scores or the offers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Tyler JUCO because I feel they can better me and give me in some better positions for after when I leave. Like, hopefully go play for LSU.
Did you
some
say
of the big
LSU?
schools. Yes, sir. LSU.
If Ed Orgeron's watching, or he does watch, you might get a phone call before you go to Tyler Junior College.
Yes, sir. But, yeah. And I feel that Tyler can help me get there to the places where I want to be, where I feel like my talent level is based on.
Being at Woodlawn, you walk in the gym every day, there's Robert Parrish.
Yes,
the
sir.
famous Robert Parrish, the basketball player, Boston Celtics. When you go in the football gym, it's Terry Bradshaw, Joe Ferguson, Tyrone Frazier, Tesario Davis. It's on and on and on. Who was your, I guess, idol from the school? Who did you like the most from Woodlawn?
Actually, he's actually very recent, but Donovan for the Cowboys. I always like told my
Yeah.
people, I'm like, yeah. Because like right now they got, like so far he just got like a picture and like the case right
Yeah.
now, but I'm pretty sure they're going to put a painting up of him too.
He wasn't offered LSU. He went to A&M, right?
Oh yeah, yes sir, he went to A&M.
He was a safety. We actually filmed him, but he became a headhunter.
Yes sir.
And LSU fans don't want to talk about Donovan too much because it was that 65-60 game.
Yes,
But anything else you want to mention? Like why LSU? What do you like about LSU?
Just the atmosphere and the people down there. Like after the game when they beat Bama, and I'm pretty sure it happened after every game. Like you seen it when Joe Burrow was getting off the plane, and they just had all the people that were waiting for him celebrating. It was like late at night or early in the morning.
Saw that at the airport?
Yeah,
like
it was just
11 o'clock at night.
Cold outside, but they there waiting for him.
1,000 people.
Yes, sir.
So you watch all those videos?
Yes, sir. And if you ever look in their stands when they playing, it's always a packed out game, no matter who they playing. It's
Are
always
you a big
packed out game.
internet guy, Instagram and all that stuff?
No, I don't be on social media
No?
like that.
That's good, man. Give me a
Yes,
high
sir.
five. That's good. It's good. Keep everything private. You won't get in any trouble. You know, get some guys in trouble sometimes.
Yes, sir.
So what do you think of Dak Prescott being from Shreveport, from Houghton, and being a Cowboys? Is he going to win a Super Bowl with Dallas?
Probably in the near future, yeah. I think so. He's a great player. He's a very good player. I like watching him. I know it's a lot of kids that look up to him and Tre'Davious and them, so hopefully I'll be one of those. One day I'll be one of those type of players.
Vincent, I think you can be a coach one day, man.
A coach?
Your hand on this so comfortable, and you talk so smooth, man, and just you're a leader. I can tell why you're so good on the football field.
Thank you.
What offensive lineman in the NFL do you have one that you like, that you want to pattern yourself?
For the Cowboys.
Lyle.
Yes, sir.
LSU guy.
Yes, sir.
What is it about Lyle Collins that you like?
I see a lot of myself in him. Like when he had that one big play when he was up the field on the screen play puller. I mean on a pull block.
Blocking for Elliott?
Yeah. When I seen that, especially after I seen that play, I was like, man, I see a lot of myself in him. Well, it would be the opposite way, vice versa for him, but.
We did get an email from a dad saying when Vincent's on the show, ask him what can he max on the bench. What is your bench?
So far, I'm between like 315, like 325 right now. But when I go to college, I'm pretty sure they're going to get it up a little higher.
Yeah, you're going to easily surpass 400 in a year or two.
Yes, sir.
And your true 40 time was and is?
5 flat, most likely.
That's
5
incredible.
flat. Yes,
Man,
sir.
you're 330 pounds. That's incredible. You might hit 4'9" when you come out of junior college.
Yes, sir. If I put the work to it.
Man, your future's unbelievable. Go over there and just continue to pancake everybody in Tyler Junior College.
I will.
There's going to be some tough teams now.
Yes, sir.
Kilgore and Lynn and all those teams. All those guys go to A&M in Texas. So I'm sure you're going to bring it, man. But good luck to you. Your future's great. And I'm sure you made LSU happy today.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's all of our show today. I appreciate everybody from South Lafourche. I appreciate Coach Byrd from Woodlawn in Shreveport. And I appreciate everybody watching. It'll be replayed statewide every night this week and on Your View. We'll see you next week.